FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Well, you know, if Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand sitting in 14th century Spain thought things were so bad they shouldn't fund Columbus, then maybe Columbus would not have set out and we wouldn't even know about the Western Hemisphere. So it's one of these things where exploration, I think, is a crucial desire, a crucial component of human beings. At the highest level, I think these sorts of discoveries that we're making are what drive us as human beings. We want to answer questions like, are we alone? That's, I think, something everyone wants to know about. From the first time humanoids or Neanderthals gathered around a campfire someplace and looked across the lake and saw something that looked like another campfire, they thought, I wonder who the hell that is. Let's go over tomorrow and see who they are. That's basically what we're doing right now, is we're trying to see who else lives on our block of the galaxy. So I think the scientific imperative is there. The question always is, though, of course, can we afford to do this? I would argue that, at least before August, that we're a country that can afford to do anything we want to. Now it's a little bit harder to make that argument, of course. But you could, of course, take the entire NASA budget, which only a small fraction of it is used to fund space science, and even smaller fraction of that is used to fund planet search. Essentially, I think the Kepler mission is a total cost of $600 million, which sounds like a lot, but when you put it in scale of what's numbers now being talked about in the $1 trillion range, it doesn't sound like much. It's 3 or 4 orders of magnitude smaller. I think that you could take the entire NASA budget and throw it into the rest of the U.S. government budget, and no one would know any difference, right? The entire NASA budget is not going to help the severe problems that we have with managing Earth's climate or keeping people warm and happy and owning some prime mortgages. So that's not going to help that problem at all. It's completely off the wall. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, I think what space science does for you is give us all something to think about when we're watching Wall Street drop, each day after day. On the other hand, here's a good story, a happy story. NASA is still doing wonderful stuff. It keeps us cheerful as we're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic type thing. Mm-hmm. But to be more positive, I think it really gives us a reason for being. Why are we here? I mean, that gets almost religious at some point, but I think one of the reasons we have a great country, which is a country worth protecting and keeping happy and healthy and stable, is that we can do things like this, which give us a purpose in life. Finding life elsewhere, understanding the universe is something we should be able to do. And actually, I had a hard time in 2004 when President Bush announced his vision for space exploration. Being a lifelong Democrat, I never particularly cared for wanting to applaud the president, but he actually did something wonderful. He said, we're going to go back to the moon, go on to Mars, and oh, by the way, we're going to build advanced space telescopes which will look for other Earths. I think he probably first heard of the concept when he read it on the teleprompter at NASA headquarters. Needless to say, nevertheless, he did say the phrase. It was in the document, and so those of us who were planet hunters were going, hallelujah, hallelujah, at last, we're going to get to build what we want to build. Unfortunately, it was so low in priority that the whole vision for space exploration became an unfunded mandate. George Bush had the ideas right, but he didn't give any money to build the things that were in his plan. So basically it went nowhere. I'm hoping that President Obama might come up with a new vision for space exploration. He's yet to appoint the new NASA administrator, but he's promised that it's coming soon, and he's also talked about having a more advanced vision for NASA. And I'm hoping that somewhere in that vision, maybe in the appendix, but somewhere in there, he also will say we need to find evidence for nearby Earth-like planets. And I think we can afford to do it. It's not that hard. It keeps a lot of engineers and scientists gainfully employed, keeps them off the subprime market mortgage mess. So I think it's good for everyone. And as I say, the most important thing is it gives us something to look forward to, a real reason to be alive and be wondering and looking out at the cosmos.